Hello everyone, today I'm going to teach you about the order of operations. Today we're going to use that we can use parentheses in order of operations to identify or write a number sentence that matches a number story. And we're going to apply order of operations to evaluate expressions with parentheses, solve number sentences, or insert parentheses to make true number sentences. So really, we're going to be learning about and practicing the order of operations. So what on earth is the order of operations? Well, the order of operations is a way that mathematicians have developed for actually solving problems. So instead of solving problems always from left to right, like we traditionally have done, the order of operations has a special way of solving problems. You'll remember from last year that we always start with the parentheses. The parentheses mean solve me first. So if we look at the problem 6 plus 5 times 3, the 6 plus 5 is in parentheses, so we would solve that part of the problem first. So that becomes 11, and then we multiply it by 3, which is 33. All right. Okay, I want to show you two different solutions to the same problem. The problem is 7 plus 10 times 6. One way that I solved it, I got 67. The other way that I solved it, I got 102. Take a moment and pause the video and see if you can figure out how I solved the problem to get 67 and how I solved the problem to get 102. Okay, I hope you paused the video to think about that. If I got 67, clearly what I had to do was multiply the 10 times 6 first. 10 times 6 is 60. And then if I added that to the 7, I would get 67. 7 plus 10 times 6 equals 102. If I got this solution, I would have had to do the 7 plus 10 first, and that's 17. 17 then times 6 is 102. So I'm going to put a little parentheses around the 7 plus 10. So of course we can't have this. We can't have two different people solving a problem and getting different answers. That just simply doesn't work. To make sure that we don't solve problems in different ways, mathematicians have come up with something called the order of operations. The order of operations tells us how to solve problems. The order of operations works like this. There's 4 different steps, and we always do them in this order. So first we do any operations that come inside of parentheses. The second step is we do any exponents. The third step is we do any multiplication and division. And those actually work from left to right. And then the fourth thing that we do are any addition and subtraction. Now I know that that's going to seem a little confusing until we actually do a couple of problems. But one thing that people use to remember this is called a mnemonic device. And a lot of people like to think of this mnemonic device is as follows, and I bet your moms and dads have heard of this before too. So a lot of times people will say, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. P for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiplication, D for division, Aunt for addition, and Sally, or S for subtraction. Okay, now it's time to practice some problems. Let's try this one together. When I'm thinking about the order of operations, I like to actually write them off to the side. So I'm going to write P for parentheses, E for exponents, MD, and I write them on the same line because when we work multiplication and division problems, we actually work them left to right. It could be division then multiplication, or it could be multiplication then division. We look at them as the same type of thing. And then AS for addition and subtraction. Okay, and what I like to do is actually cross off each step as I decide, have I done this, and is this actually in the problem? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to look for here, are there any parentheses? Nope, no parentheses. Any exponents? Nope. Are there multiplication and division? Yes, there are. 5 times 6 is a multiplication problem, so I'll do that first. 30. Then I actually take and rewrite the rest of the problem, even though it might be a little bit backwards. So it's going to look a little bit funny because I'm going to be writing this way, okay? But I'm going to write plus 4, okay? So am I done with multiplication and division? Yep, I can cross that one off. Now, are there any addition and subtraction? Sure are. Now I have 4 plus 30, so that's 34. So 4 plus 5 times 6 is equal to 34. Okay, let's try the next problem. At any point, feel free to pause the video so that you can try the problem first to see if you and I get the same answer, or pause it at each step so that you can decide what to do next. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is write off to the side my little cheat sheet. First, any parentheses? Nope. Any exponents? Nope. Any multiplication and division? Yes, there are. When I do multiplication and division, I'm going to work from left to right, and every time that I do a multiplication or division step, I'm going to actually rewrite the rest of the problem. Let me show you what that looks like. So I work from left to right when I work multiplication and division. So I'm going to start with my leftmost multiplication problem, which is 3 times 10, 30. Now, don't do anything more on this step. I'm going to rewrite all of the rest of the problem. Now, do I have any multiplication and division? Sure do. Now, I'm going to actually just change my pen color so I can kind of follow along here. Now we have 30 divided by 5, so that's 6. And now I rewrite the rest of the problem, plus 18 divided by 3. Notice how I haven't crossed off my step here because I'm still working through multiplication and division. Okay, do I have any multiplication and division to do? Yep, I still do. Now I have 18 divided by 3. That's 6. And I rewrite the rest of the problem. Do I have any multiplication and division? Nope, that's finally done. Cross it off. Now, do I have any addition and subtraction to do? Yep, I have 6 plus 6, which is 12. So do you see as we're working down in this problem how it's getting smaller and smaller? It's kind of like a triangle. And that's a good way to know that you're doing the right step. So every line should get a little bit smaller than the line before it. Okay, we have a few more problems to do. I want to make sure that you're exposed to at least one of each type of problem, one that has each of the different steps. So start off by writing. So I start by asking, do I have any parentheses? Yes, I do. I'm not going to cross it off because I'm going to do my parentheses one at a time. The first one that I see is 4 plus 5. Now I'm going to write the solution to 4 plus 5, which is 9. And then I rewrite the rest of the problem just as it is. Okay, next one. Do I have any more parentheses? Because I'm still on that step. okay, because I haven't crossed it off yet. I do. I'm going to switch pen color to switch my line here. I have another parentheses. So now I'm going to write that part here. And do you notice how I'm not writing anything until I've finished that step that I'm on? And then I'm going to work left and right to rewrite the rest of the problem. Copy it just as you see it. Okay, do I have any parentheses? I'm still not done with this step. I sure do. Switch my pen color again for you. Now I have 10 times 2 that's in parentheses. So that's 20, and then I rewrite the rest of the problem. Okay, parentheses are all done. Do I have any exponents? Nope. Do I have any multiplication and division? Sure do. Next I have 9 times 5, 45, minus 20. Do I have any more multiplication and division? Nope. And then last, do I have any addition and subtraction? Sure do. I have 45 minus 20. That's the last line of my problem, so I'm going to go ahead and solve that as 25. And I'm all done. Okay, we've got just a few more to work through. I just wanted to make sure that you see one of each step in the order of operations. Okay, so first of all, cheat sheet off to the side. Do I have anything in parentheses? Yep, I sure do. So the first thing that I do is what's in parentheses? 5 plus 5. Second, do I have any exponents? Yep. Oops, I forgot to rewrite the problem. So I have 10 to the second power, or 10 squared. And that equals 10 times 10. So that's 100. And actually, I'm all done with the problem. There's no multiplication and division and no addition and subtraction. So remember that first, in this problem, the first thing that we did was inside the parentheses, and then we used the exponent. Okay, here's another practice with exponents. Cheat sheet off to the side. So, no parentheses. Do I have any exponents? Yes, I do. Oops. Shouldn't have crossed that one out. So I'm going to do exponents next. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to work left to right with my exponents. So I'm going to do 5 squared, and that's 5 times 5, which is 25. Now, I still rewrite all of the rest of the problem. I do one operation per line. Okay, now I have 25 times 3 squared. I'm on E. Do I have any exponents? Yes, I do. I have 3 squared. That's 9. And I rewrite the rest of the problem. Do I have any exponents? Nope, all done. Do I have any multiplication and division? All done with those. How about addition and subtraction? We have 25 plus 9. That's 34. And that's our solution. Okay, here's the last problem that we're going to do together. Why don't you pause the video and see if you can figure this one out. First parentheses, 3 times 8, 24, and I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. No more parentheses. Do I have any exponents? Yep, so I'm going to do that one next. 10 squared is 100, and I rewrite the rest of the problem. Do I have any multiplication and division? Sure do. I have 14 times 2, which is 28. Rewrite the rest. Do I have any more multiplication and division? Nope, all done. Now addition and subtraction, remember, work like multiplication and division, where we work those left to right. Sorry, I have to make that a little smaller for you. So I'm going to start by 100 plus 24, which is 124 minus 28. When I get to the last step, I can go ahead and either put it down here like we have been doing, or I can put it off to the side. Doesn't really matter. So I have 124 minus 28, which is 96. Is that what you got? Okay, here are some problems for you to try. What I'm going to do on the Edmodo quiz is I'm just going to put in the problem numbers, and I'm going to have you write in the answers that you get. It's hard for me to write squares in Edmodo. It just doesn't do that. So you'll just put in your answers to the problems that you get. Okay, so you might have to come back to the video or jot them down on a piece of paper. Thanks for watching and have a great night.